call the meeting to order. Everyone had a chance to look over last month's minutes. Get a motion to approve.
Go ahead.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. All right, Matt.
Any public comments?
Okay.
I've got plenty, but I'll
You're
save
gonna save that for the next two meetings. Yeah. All right, just real quick, some program updates. Athletic program, since we last met, we finished our flag football and cheer season. Had our championship games out at Cherokee High School like we have past couple of years. Ended up great. You know, we put our cheerleaders out there this year, and they did a big halftime routine. We had about 50 or 60 of our 80 cheerleaders out there for that, which was awesome. So went great. You know, playing our championships out there is just awesome. It's a great atmosphere, great environment. Kids love it. Coaches, I think, like it. It makes the game a little different, but it's just a good event, good spectacle. We've completed the basketball registrations. We've started our evaluations last night. We've got them tonight, Thursday night, and Tuesday night of next week. But our numbers, I think we're up about 30 kids from last year. We got increased 2 or 3 teams in a couple of age groups. Went down 1 or 2 teams in another age group, but overall I think we're up 3 or 4 teams. We are, just on a side note, the 3 gyms we're in right now, we are outgrowing. It's very difficult going. I went ahead and determined how many teams we've got in each age group, mapped out each week how to fit all these games to get everybody 2 games a week. See, in the past we've been playing our 5 and 6 year olds one night during the week and every Saturday. Last year we added there was Pee-wees would play every other Saturday, and our rookies or older age groups would play on the off Saturday. So we pretty much had 2 gyms, mostly alternating. This year, there's certain age groups, multiple age groups, that's going to have to play every Saturday. There's just not enough days in the week, or enough gyms. So keep that in mind. But numbers are up. Coaches are difficult to find, but we will. Next week we've got one more night of evaluations. We'll start working on practice schedules to start the first week of December. We'll practice through the month of December, come back the first week of January, another week of practice to kick the dust off from Christmas break. We won't do really much of anything during Christmas break, and then start games that second week of January. Fitness classes, we're our youth athletic training has been going great. Numbers are holding about 10-ish, 10 to 12. That thing ought to have 30 with as good as Neil's doing. It's a really good program for young athletes. Excited. I'm trying to figure out how we can try to keep this going in the wintertime and utilize a gym for it. But if not, we'll shut it down and try to start it back in the spring, because it's a good program. His normal Moving You fitness class resumed last week. So Monday nights at the park building is the standard adult fitness class that we're doing, and that'll run at least through the end of the year, and we may just reevaluate and see what we want to do after that. But yeah, get that put out there. Upcoming community events, I can't think of the days, but we've got a painting, a Christmas painting like we did last year that had 31, I think, attend. We're gonna do another one of those. And I believe it's either the first or second Friday in December, I'm not sure. And then we've got a bingo planned for closer to Christmas, a senior bingo. And as far as grant updates, you know, we've got a few things I think we've got to have just some formal action taken maybe all. One is when we're building our concession stand and the bathroom building. Some odd years ago, the town adopted the 2009 energy code in new constructions. I'm not well versed on what that means, but the architect suggested, and I checked with Steve Nelson, he agreed that if the town will formally waive that requirement for these two construction projects, it'll save the town a substantial amount of money. The reason Steve thinks that's a good idea is because these are basically unoccupied buildings. There's not people working out of them more than a couple hours a night for a few weeks out of the summer. They're certainly not living in them. I think that energy code requirement has something to do with the amount of insulation or types of insulation or type of building materials that's being used. So, yeah, I think, I don't know if the park board could do that, if the BMA needs to do that, or if it just kind of comes like a recommendation from the park board to the BMA, but I'm gonna hang around for that meeting just in case they have any questions as well. But I think just to cover all our bases, I'd like to request that you all approve to waive that requirement.
Okay.
I'll make
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Second. Anybody? Second.
Who's second?
All approve.
Melissa?
All approve, say aye. It's approved, say no. All right.
Okay. In our LPRF grant, we had playground project was the third component besides the concession stand and the bathroom. We solicited proposals. We kind of worked with one specific company to kind of create a concept of a design that we wanted that featured inclusive components. You know, all playgrounds that we would build would be ADA accessible. We wanted things that would be more inclusive, not just accessible. That's just taking it one step further. We in the design that we kind of created intentionally had different components than what we've got in the park already. We wanted some net structures, some climbers, some hoppers. You know, the most of the structure that we currently have is just one structure with a few slides off of it and some monkey bars. I completely steered away from that intentionally. Well, we put it out for proposals because you can't bid. You know, if you were putting a swing set out there, you could bid, because every company's got a swing set they can compare. But once you start getting into different designs and stuff, they take into account play values and what this piece will give you as far as play value versus this piece. So we was very specific in kind of what we were wanting and what we wanted these companies to propose. So we got 2 proposals submitted. I've given you a picture and little outline of my recommendation. But essentially, my recommendation is we go with the design that we created, that checked all the boxes that we wanted. It's slightly higher, but the other proposal, nice equipment, but it was they didn't look at our design, what we wanted.
You're saying this is the one that we designed?
That's the one that we designed.
Yeah, I think it's best if it's all
Sort of
age
spread
groups.
out.
It is.
Yeah.
And
If
it,
it's any child that needs it, I think a lot is on having a 5-year-old. I mean, he's got a baby, but he's also got the numerous age groups. They can all enjoy it.
He got it all covered.
Got all the bases covered.
His wife can swing the baby while his 13-year-old. I see something, but it's very well. They do a good job on
I think so too.
it. Very different.
The base proposal was substantially higher for that one, but when you looked at it, it included a lot of demolition work that I spoke to the companies, and we took the demolition work completely out. And the city will handle all the demo and site prep. And so when you take those components out of their proposals, their cost proposals, there's only about $16,000 difference. And just in playground equipment's expensive.
You're pretty much
for
gonna
what
get
you
rid
get.
of most of everything that's a purchase.
The only two things we're really getting rid of, well, three, is the two swing sets, because they are long out of compliance. Those are 15 foot tall. I think the maximum a playground company will sell you now is 10 foot. It might just be 8 foot. So we're gonna take those out, and we'll take the sandbox, the sand pit out. The little metal igloo climber thing, you know, that's probably older than I am, but it's solid, functional, and popular. So we'll leave that and kind of incorporate it. But that's the extra 16,000 is clearly, to me, you're getting much more value from that other design, well above the 16,000 extra that it's going to cost. Also needs to be kept in mind that 50% of that's grant funding. Only half of that is actual city funds. So
That's a huge deal.
you're talking extra costing the city of only $8,000. So in the grand scheme of a $250,000 project, to me, it's worth going a little extra and getting what you want. So
I'll make a motion we go with
Cunningham.
your proposal.
I'll second Todd's proposal.
All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, say no.
thank you all. Next, we've got, we had a couple of, we had another mower go down on us last month, engine shot through a rod. We replaced the rod, I don't know much about the engine, but we went and bought a $4 piece just to test it. And it immediately bent it too, so it's dead. We budgeted for it, so I'm requesting approval to go out to bid for a new mower. We have a specific model in mind. It's found in your packet there, but it's the Skag Turf Tires 2. We'll go out and get multiple quotes or bids. But I'm just seeking approval to go ahead and put that ball in motion.
Are you just gonna look at getting one, or are you gonna get two?
I'm gonna get one right now, because I've got another purchase coming up, and then my plan is to put two into next year's
Okay.
budget.
I'll make a motion to approve the request to bid for the mower.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, say no.
We need a new utility vehicle. Our Gator, we do all of our work with, ride around the park, drag our ball fields with. Our little 3-wheel infield machine died over about a year ago. We spent all fall season pulling a mat drag behind the Gator. I started in the park in 2001, I believe, or 2000. That gator was there before I started. And it's already had one engine replacement that I know of. And it's just, to me, on its last legs. It's time to get its replacement on its way. We'll still continue to use it until it finally bites the dust. If we get to ball season next year and it dies, we have nothing to drag the ball fields with except a tractor. We won't do that. So again, that's something else that we did budget for. We made the budget and submitted it, and you all approved it and everything. So I'm just ready to seek bids for that. And specs that we've kind of spec'd out are in your packet, but we're not too concerned about the brand or model. It's just it needs to meet certain cargo capacities, towing capacities. You know, so we'll have hopefully have a competitive. And I'll reach out to a bunch of different brands. Just once you put something in here, and then we'll just kind of evaluate what comes in.
Well, and some of them may even, while you're looking at it, it would be a bad idea to see about getting the ones that's got the brush guards on the front, and maybe even a winch on the front, because I think by the time we was trying to get all that stuff out of the pond,
Sure.
you can use it with that, but while you're doing it, you can
We
close
can do
it.
that. Yeah, I'm just seeking approval to go out to bid for that.
I'll make a motion.
Second. All in favor, say aye. Anyone opposed, say no.
And lastly, request to surplus old equipment. I've got that 3-wheel infield machine it's old, 2002-ish, 3-ish. It's dead. I've got 2 zero-turn mowers. One was a 2003, the other was a 2008. That's the one that just died, I believe. 8 and 14 maybe. It's in the pack. To be
Five
honest,
and 14.
5 and 14. Well, 14 just is the one that just died. And then the Dewey slope mower that we bought that Ventrac to replace. Now it's actually still operational. It's just dangerous for what we were